afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. This is London News from Melbourne. Above here, you can see a lawyer in The Hague, one of the top lawyers in Europe, and they've got a grand jury going, and they've got some very interesting people up there. Fauci, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, whatever you call Mr. Reid, and they're up before a grand jury. And of course, if they're convicted, it's goodbye, Charlie. And further on, we have these police here came and arrested an army veteran. To regret it later on, they were ambushed here, as you can see, by the media, and they were taken to task about it. And the good news, the outcome of that, they don't have police commissioners even in private corporations. In England, they have a chief constable, and he's made a decision and apologized that this will never happen in his police force again, which is good news. But the purpose of today is fines. I get a lot of emails and a lot of phone calls, which unfortunately, guys, I can't answer because one call, I did one today, which I swore I wouldn't do. And then it ended up being 2 calls and 3 calls because people want more information and it just takes up so much time. We're going to go through fines. Now, fines, you go to our website, which it'll be up here as well, and you can download 2 documents. Now, what you're doing there by downloading these and filling them in and sending them to the physical address, send both the documents together. It saves a lot of trouble because it doesn't seem to get to the Secretary of Fines, Victoria, and of course the rest of the states are all private corporations, of course, and you're basically talking to a computer. But you have rebutted it and you have sent, so keep a copy of the registered post to say you did rebut it, the date and so on and so forth. If they don't reply to you, that's their problem. Now let's look at what's necessary to survive in the fictional system. You need identification. If you're asked for identification, what do you produce normally? A driving license, Medicare card, birth certificate. So you're saying, here you are. I am a private corporation. I'm yours. I am a person. I am, right now, in now time, I am a man or a woman. You don't have to add the word living. Produce your identification that says, here you are. That's proof that I am a man or a woman. It's got your photograph, your date of birth, your correct address. It's everything you need to identify yourself with. So we're going to have a look at that. It'll show you how to do it step by step. And after you've done that, I'll show you a document that if you do get a summons to go to court, it's just an invitation to do business. So we'll go and look at that as well. So now let's have a look at how to get identification and how important it is to have it. Certificate of Identity, Diplomat. Now just look at this. All that you have to do in order to get your ID done is to send in a photo. Given names, obviously very important. If you only got one, that's okay. If you have a family crest, as the family name goes in there in brackets, which means it's actually on the document, but it's not part of the document because that's the deceased stated law. If you have an emblem, send it in and I put it up here, one place or the other, right? Make room for it. Live birth event. All that means live birth event. The date of birth, DOB, so the lay man or woman understands what DOLEB means. It's just date of birth, right? Address, Australia. Now the barcode. You don't send me a barcode. I send you an envelope registered. Those envelopes cost about $5.50. It's got a barcode on it. It comes by registered post and it's pretty slow. Whether that's going to improve or not, I don't know. But at the moment, it's slow. So it's basically a simple card. I'll explain some of what these things mean later on. You can look it up yourself, but I know most people is too much trouble. Now, this is very important. This is basic information required for your ID, as I just said. A crest is not necessary. Okay. I will supply the barcode. That comes off the envelope, and you keep that forever. Keep the envelope when it comes to you. They have the ID in it, keep it somewhere safe because you may need to prove one day that it actually did go through the post because, just keep it anyway. Now, I will send you a copy for approval. And then you can send the donation if you're happy with it. Now we have had a look at how to get identification. Let's go and look at this very important document, a court invitation to do business. It's called a summons. And when you get it, it's rather scary. There is no need to be scared because they work on fear. And as soon as you get it, you're in fear. And if you go into court all dressed up like I am here, like I was going someplace, but don't worry, it's just aesthetics. And if you dress like if you look like a galah, dress like a galah, you're going to get treated like a galah. That's a bird, by the way, in Australia. So, so if you turn up in a suit and tie going to court, they think, oh, this guy is already, or this woman is already, they're in fear of us already. You just turn up in how you normally dress with total disrespect because they don't have any for you. It's a private corporation. You don't have to be disrespectful, but you just got to say, anyway, let's go and have a look at this invitation to do business on their vessel in dry dock, because that's what it is. It's a vessel and you enter on there. It's some kind of cargo, but you end up being salvage. Let's go and have a look at that next. Now that we've had a look at the ID and the purpose of the ID and how to get it, how to fill it in, you place it up here on the left-hand side. And what you're stating there, that you are a man or a woman, that you're not a person. You've made that clear, because if you're asked for identification, normally what do you show them? Your driving license, birth certificate, everything is their property. You are actually contracting. This document says, I'm not contracting, really loud and clear. And the flag, of course, is the Australian flag. There was no referendum to make it blue. Anyway, that's another story. This up here is laying a claim. Now, a summons is an invitation to do business, nothing more. It frightens the life out of people when they get one, because they got to go into this scary place where fear rules, and it really does rule. Now, it's addressed to the clerk of the court with the duty of filing this document in the correct jurisdiction under the Bill of Landing, Public Vessel Act. When you do this properly, they have to accept it. You hand deliver it, send it into the physical address by registered post, very important. And minors make claims. So you're now making a claim with the knowledge of claim. John Michael Doe is in brackets. That's the family name. So if your name is Doe, well, that's great. If it's not, if it's Smith, change it to Smith. That's all you're going to do. Put your given names in, your surname in brackets, and with the knowledge of fact. Just read the rest of it. I'd have to read it out to you because we'll be here for the rest of the week. And of course, change the date. It's very important. And you're going there as the principal. Now, I've / beneficiary. It doesn't really matter at this stage, but you're at the beneficiary stage. I wouldn't push that. You're going to court as the principal. So if you go to court as the principal, it makes them in that system your agents. Remember, there's the principal agents, an agent to the principal, etc., etc. So they're the agents. So you're going to accept their invitation to do business under your conditions as you are the principal for the deceased estate, which is on there, right? Just read the rest of it. Go down nice and slowly. It goes through I don't want to waste time. The video will get too long. And then here at the bottom, autographed. Very important to put down autograph. If it's a legal document where you're doing the transfer of your vehicle from the big roads or wherever in your state over to the common law court, you put signature because they've got to recognize that signature. But here, this is your document. You're making the claim, autographed as the principal. You can even take beneficiary out if you like. It's not important, but it's there anyway. Without prejudice, very important. There's a good reason for that. Check it. Google it. What means prejudice, with prejudice, and without. Don't ask me to explain it for you. Just look it up, guys. That's easy. Now, on the back of it, you draw a line down at 45 degrees. You sign that, cross the stamp. Now, that it says 4 cents here. It's a very old stamp. I don't think you'll get one. Put in a current stamp. You can be as mean as you like, but put it in. So, endorse it across. And at the back of the document, with a line down, stamp. No fingerprints, no thumbprints. Just sign it. Autograph it across. Okay, whatever you want to call it at this stage, doesn't really matter. And deliver it by registered post or by hand. And if you do it by hand, ask them for a receipt for it. Okay, but don't forget, at the top is very important to put your ID that states that who you are. You're not a person. You're coming in there as a man and as the principal for that deceased estate, which they have summons. They haven't summoned you as a living man or woman. They've summoned the ghost, the silly strawman, if you like. I hate the term. It's a date, but anyway, it's a fact. Anyway, just read the document, download it from the common law website. The address is up there. Click on the top. It comes down in Word. You can fill it in, and then you can save it and post it or deliver it, as I said. Anyway, let's move on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now that you have had a look at how to get an ID, what you send paperwork to the courts if they give you an invitation to come. It's different in each state, but it's the same bird with the wings, left and right wings of corruption. They're all private corporations. Sadly, the police force are as well, and the real rank and file on the street, mate, they're not happy. I can assure you that. So don't take it out on the police. They do not, because you never know who's just kicked them in the shins 5 minutes ago, and they're in a terrible situation. Sadly, it's our friends up at the top. Again, some of them are great guys, but the ones who can make a change, they're worried about losing their pensions, which is understandable. We need to get them some support so they can come along and go and arrest these criminal politicians. Just think if they did that here in Victoria, if Daniel Andrews got chucked in the back of a bomb truck by some constables, the police force would be heroes. Of course, we got the muzzle-wearing fools, which thinks that they've been saved by these polypox politicians. Well, there's no hope for them. Anyway, London News sign off. I hope it's some interest to you guys. Just download the forms from the Common Law Court website. You'll see it and click at the top. It comes down in Word. There's no problem filling it in. Anyway, looking forward to catching up, and I hope it's been of some assistance to you. Dr. Barry, sign off. London News. Catch you again. And please subscribe, guys. Come over to Rumble. Some stuff is on there that we can't put up on this channel. Bye for now.